Maybe we'll give a little wave. There it is. Yes, yes. I'm going to scooch back a little bit. Here we go. Yes, we're live. It still is a little funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Bravo Music Academy. I got to scooch in a little bit. I am Miss Christy. This is Bravo Music Academy. This is Teacher Tip Tuesday, and this lovely lady next to me is Emma. Thanks so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Emma is here for a quick little makeup lesson, right?
Yeah.
We have our parties this week, and she came for her party yesterday. And the cool thing about Teacher Tip Tuesday this week is that it matches what we're talking about in our parties. So in our parties, we have a little musical discussion or musician discussion, and it changes every time, right? So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to have someone with firsthand knowledge of what we're talking about to join me.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may notice this amazing tower of balloons behind us here. Isn't it gorgeous? That is from our 5th anniversary ribbon cutting, which happened on Saturday. So if you want to see that, we actually broadcasted it live right here on our Facebook page. And so you can just hop on over to another video. It's saved there and you can see it. And I'm going to adjust this because I realized we're like chopping off your head here. There we go. Is that better? That looks so much better. All right, so what are we talking about today? Why don't you tell them?
The difference between practice and a lesson.
Yeah, the difference between practice and a lesson. Now, to someone like me and to someone like Emma, it seems pretty obvious. And there are some parts of it that are pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
But there are other parts that might not be as obvious if you are new to lessons, if you are new to your instrument, or if you've never taken lessons before and you're trying to figure out everything and all. I mean, there's a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once you start getting it, then you really get it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we dive in?
Uh-huh.
What's the first obvious thing about lessons versus practice? Practice versus lessons. One on one. Go ahead. What's the difference?
That a lesson, it takes place in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
and practice takes place at your house.
Yep. That's obvious number one. Now, there are exceptions to that. Like if you take in-home lessons, if your teacher comes to your house, then yeah, both of them happen in your house. If you have online lessons, yeah, both of them happen in your house. But for the majority of people, the majority of the time, they go to a studio for lessons and they go home for their practice. You do that.
Yeah.
I do that. Most of us here do that. We do have a few online students, but most of us do that. All right, obvious thing. Number two. I'm not used to being on the side. I'm used to being on that side, so I hold up my hand and it's out of the frame. Number 2. There we go. What's obvious thing number 2? Do you want to tell them or you want me to?
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
For a lesson, you get teacher's help, and for practice, you get to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Now, there are some kids who are fortunate and their parents know the instrument that they're playing.
My parents don't.
No, your parents don't. My parents did, but they didn't always help me because I usually wanted to do it by myself. Yeah, but that was me. That's not everybody, right? So you're on your own. How do you know what to do?
Your teacher explains it in
your lesson? Yeah, the teacher is there to explain it and to give you help at your lesson so that you know what you're doing at home. And if you don't know what you're doing, totally ask a ton of questions in your next lesson. I can promise you, I can guarantee like 100,000% that your teacher is not going to be upset about you asking questions. Have I ever been upset about you asking questions?
No.
Oh, good. That's a wait. All right. let's dive into the maybe not so obvious side of lesson versus practice. The first one, I'll tell them the first one. Are you sliding all over the place here? The first one is that in a lesson, you learn how and what to practice. And then at home, in your practice, you work on what you learned in the lesson and actually practice. So your lesson time is not a time to pull out your books and go, oh yeah, this is what we did last week. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No.
No, because you're an awesome practicer.
Or maybe once when I kind of started.
Maybe once.
Or twice.
But I think it happened because you were either on vacation or you were sick or something. I don't think you've ever intentionally not practiced. So that's cool. So yeah, you learn at the lesson, you apply it, and you practice. You want to give them number 2? In a lesson, what do?
You learn new skills.
You learn new skills in the lesson. And what do you do at practice?
You build your skills.
You build your skills. You haven't had time reading my handwriting, aren't you? Yeah. We have a Post-it note here so that we can keep track of where we are. And I scribbled in my half-print, half-script handwriting that I scribble in sometimes. Yes, that says building skills. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look like a K, does it? Yeah, sorry. Building skills. So practice is the time to take what you learned in your lesson. Maybe you're learning a new scale, right? We've learned a few new scales. And you go home and you work on that and you build your scale skills. Wow, say that 3 times fast.
Build your scale skills, build your scale skills, build your scale skills.
Woo, you're good. That was tough though, wasn't it? So you build on those skills that you learned in your lesson so that when you come back the next week, you can learn new skills and more advanced skills. You ready for the last one?
Mm-hmm.
The last, maybe not so obvious. Do you want me to read it? Or do you want to read it? I think you can read that one.
I can read it. Okay. In the lesson, you get feedback, and for practice, you solve problems.
Yeah, solve problems at home in your practice, and in your lesson, you get feedback. And that goes back to the teacher being present and there to help and being on your own in the practice. That's what that goes back to. And really, ultimately, all of this boils down to one thing for each. In the lesson, you learn. In the practice, you apply. Yes. So I will end with this. If you do not practice in between your lessons, you're only hurting yourself. You're only slowing your progress. If you want to become the most amazing pianist in the world, practicing with your teacher for 30 minutes a week isn't going to be enough. If you're really lost, what if you're really stuck and lost on something? You don't know? Have you never been stuck or lost? Sometimes. What do you do when that happens?
I ask my parents to email me.
And they usually give you a response, right?
Yeah. And I take a break.
And you take a break. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Because if you get that frustration built up, that doesn't help, right? But if you get really, really lost, totally do all of that and follow it up with asking your teacher at the next lesson to be a little more specific.
Because sometimes I don't want to take a break though.
So what do you do if you don't want to take a little break? Do you just play something else?
I keep going.
Okay.
But my parents eventually tell me to do something else.
Okay.
Because I get really mad.
Oh, I understand. I understand that. Maybe we should talk about that soon. What to do when you get mad during practice.
When my dad gets mad, he always, whenever I teach him and he messes up on a song,
Talk louder.
whenever my dad messes up on a song, because I teach him,
Mm-hmm.
because he misses all his classes, he's always like on the keys.
I feel his pain. I totally feel his pain. Been there, yes. All right, let's do a quick recap. You ready? Did you think of any more, by the way?
No.
Okay, let's do a really quick recap. Wrong hand. There are two obvious ways. Yeah, you two, see, we're on opposite sides today. This is just all so that you guys can see this awesome balloon sculpture behind us because my shoulder covered too much of it when I was over there. So here we go. Two obvious ways that lessons are different than practice. Lessons are at the studio, practice is at home. Lessons are with a teacher there, practice you're on your own. I don't know where that came from, but it did. Then the not so obvious ones boil down to two things: learning and applying. So you learn what and how to practice, you learn new skills, and you get feedback. You get learning feedback in your lesson. And when you're at home and practice, you are actually practicing and working on what it is that you learned in the lesson. You're building on your skills and you are solving problems. I think we got it all. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know of any other differences, I would love to hear it because we like to keep the conversation going, right? Let's see, am I missing anything? Nope, not missing anything. So keep the conversation going and let us know what. It is Tuesday. Hello, Miss Emily. How are you? Let us know what things you. What was I talking about? Wow, I totally had a massive brain fart there. Sorry.
You were looking at her.
I know. I got so excited about her comment. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give her a heart. Here we go. There we go. Okay, now I cannot be distracted anymore. So if you know, that's what I was talking about. If you know of other differences between lessons and practice that we did not cover here, let me know. Share it in the comments, and Miss Emma and I will take a look at it together. All right. Now we are on spring break next week. This is Teacher Tip Tuesday number 99 too. Next one is extra special. Emma here, she has got all of the ideas. And she gave me the most, don't tell them, okay? She gave me the most amazing idea for our 100th episode of Teacher Tip Tuesday, and I am super excited for it. So we're going to get on that. I don't know if it's going to be next week because it's spring break, but it might be because the following week is a special day. And I don't know if I'm going to do it then, but I don't want to put it off for 2 weeks.
Next Tuesday's your birthday?
No, the following Tuesday. Next week is spring break.
Oh.
Yes. So we'll see. I'm either going to do it over spring break or on my birthday. Ooh, birthday Teacher Tip Tuesday would be really special, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see.
You can give them a tour of your house.
I could. You're right. They've
then,
seen my house, though. Anyway,
they
have. I've done Teacher Tip Tuesday from home.
I want to see.
Okay, we'll look at it later. Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
No, I don't think I do either. If you have anything to add, let us know. Otherwise, we will see you in either a week or two, definitely sooner than 3, though. We're going to go have a lesson, and then I'm going to go do a party. So, I will see you guys very soon. We're going to go play. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
All right.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Bye, everybody.
May the force be with you. May the force